Lab Addicts Music Group. Lab Addicts Music Group. Lab Addicts Music Group.
What's goody? What's goody? What's goody? It's your boy Maas. It's Tuesday. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Most of everybody didn't have to go to work yesterday, so today, Tuesday is your Monday at work anyway. But happy belated MLK Day. It's a day of service. Everybody was out doing community service, marching, out in the cold. It's usually cold on MLK Day. I'm not sure why. It's always snowing. It's always something to deter you from getting out. But a lot of people got out. It was a great day. I never work. It's 3 days I don't work. I don't work on MLK Day, my birthday, and Juneteenth. Those are 3 days I do not work. But I hope everybody had a good weekend. Before we go any further, we got to give thanks to the Most High for allowing us to see another day, another sunrise, another sunset, and another day, another chance to love on the people who we cherish. And tonight's conversation, why should a man even consider marriage? Risk, reward, and the deal that no lady wants to explain. And what brought this conversation was I saw where Tyreek Hill's baby mother went back to court to get more money, more child support. And the judge admonished her because she had $100,000 allowance to go buy a new car, which was stipulated in the divorce decree. And I said divorce, they aren't married. In the child support paperwork. But she went above and beyond and took out $96,000 from her son's account and bought a Bentley. So after she bought that Bentley, she was broke. So she went back to court to get the child support order changed from $5,000 a month to $35,000 a month. It didn't happen. And yeah, I read it, and then I just thought about the audacity of that woman to take out $96,000 out of her son's account to buy a Bentley. So let's stop pretending that this is confusing. Jude, Camille, Pontoon, Jody, what's going on? What's going on? Let's stop pretending that this is confusing. Men are not afraid of commitment. Men are afraid of bad contracts. Marriage today is being sold to men like a moral obligation instead of a mutually beneficial agreement. Men are told by women, you should want this. Real men commit. If you don't marry her, you're wasting her time. But no one explains, what are men gaining? The only thing that gets explained is what we're expected to give. Marriage requires a man to put his money, his name, his future, and his freedom on the table. And in return, what does he get? What does the man get? He's often offered conditional loyalty, emotional volatility labeled as expression, disrespect excused as strength, and exit options framed as self-care. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Modern women want traditional commitment without traditional cooperation. Women want authority without accountability. Women want security without submission. And they want leadership without respect. And when men question this setup, they're told they're insecure, they're broken, and they're not emotionally evolved. I'm not hating on women, Jody. I'm not hating on women because I have lots of friends that are in very, very good marriages, family members as well. So there are good marriages. There are good relationships. And that is what keeps me searching, is that I see the examples of what a good relationship looks like. But now, men, we are doing math. We are doing math. Marriage used to protect families. Now it protects feelings and exits. So here's the question that women don't want to answer. Why should a man risk everything? Why should a man risk everything for someone who has already decided she can leave at any moment? Why should a man risk everything? What is the benefit of a man that did marry his high school sweetheart, that hasn't found a woman to submit to him? What do men have to look forward to in marriage? Really? I'm being honest. I'm asking this question because I want men to tell the women what it will take for her to get a ring. And I want the women to answer, what is the benefit of a man getting married? What is the benefit? The little that men do have, they can give up half. They have to fight to see their children. Now, there are always going to be instances of men who don't step up to the plate. We're not talking about them. Why would a man have to fight to see his children? You know, the relationship may be over, but I mean, children need their dad. We see examples of this every day. What is the overall benefit for men to pursue marriage? That's what I'm asking the ladies tonight. What is the benefit of a man pursuing you for marriage? What does the man get in this deal? And a lot of women are going to say, my cousin hit me up and she said, men who get married live longer. I, I'm I don't believe those numbers. I think those numbers are skewed by the government to encourage people to get married, but there's lots of men in the senior citizens' homes, just as there's a lot of women. No woman can tell us what the benefit of marriage is. Because women want the man to take care of all the bills, go out, make all the money, pay all the bills, come home, split the housework, and then provide security. And the women want you to cook too. But if a man has to do all that and he's already doing it, what is the benefit of getting married? So, open-ended question to the ladies. What is the benefit of a man getting married to you? Yeah, this is for the ladies and to the men out there. What will it take for you to put a ring on a woman's finger? What will it take to the men out there? What will it take for you to get on one knee? What will it take? I know I don't want no woman asking me to get married. That's not your job. That's not your role. That's not your role. And to the women that want a traditional men didn't come home and do dishes. Traditional men didn't come home and cook. Traditional men didn't come home and clean. So this traditional man that you all want, but you want him to come home and still help in the household chores after working all day. That's not the role. It's mainly modern women who make these requests of a traditional man that's going to help with the housework, the cleaning, and the cooking. But if a man is already doing that on his own, what incentive does he have to wife you? I'm being for real, ladies. I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. And to the ladies out there who are married, what did you do? To the ladies out here who don't understand the pursuit of a marriage, what did you do to get your man to commit to you? I got friends that married their high school sweethearts that are still married to this day, and it's beautiful. I love to see it. I have family members that are married, relationships are great. I love to see it. Everybody asks me, when are you going? And I'm like, I don't know. My mother said I'm a tough nut to crack. I'm not trying to get cracked. YWG said the ladies that got married obey. They obey or they use obey. Which one is, do they obey or they use obey? They obey. I mean, obey. It's kind of harsh, but I mean, submit. I don't think submit and obey mean the same thing. But I can tell you this: a man don't want no tough ass woman. That's for sure. That's for sure. So all you tough ass ladies out there think y'all gonna you gonna tough your way into it. No. Men want femininity. Even the women that like women are tired of how women act. That's saying something. I've seen videos of women who liked women who, because of the state of the women now, have gone back to messing with men. Yeah. The modern woman has drove the women who pursued them to go back to dealing with men. So it's not just men. And the common denominator in that question, in that equation, is modern women. Modern women who want traditional men. Because marriage is a one-sided risk. All the risk of marriage is on the man. And if they're what risk do women have in all the risk of marriage falls at the feet of the man. So a man has to be 100, as close to certain as you can be about committing your name and your life to a woman. You got to make sure it's the right woman. And a lot of men can't specifically tell you what they want, but they can tell you specifically what they don't want. So I don't think that it's about men not knowing what they want. It's about the unknown. They haven't come into contact with anything to even decipher if this is what I want. I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm just speaking in generalities. Young men, middle-aged men, old men have the same gripes. They say modern women prostitute themselves. We've heard the horror stories, men going out and women ordering everything on the menu on a first date. Women wanted to go to Ruth Chris, Prime, and Michelin rated restaurants on a first date. If a man's not spending $250 on a dinner, you don't want to. Where did the sense of entitlement? Where did this come from? Where did this sense of entitlement without accountability come from? Where was this born? What happened to women to produce this? Pop culture? Video vixens? Housewife shows? What brought this change? Because there's nothing wrong about, educating yourself and, pursuing your career or whatever, but just know that cuts your chances on being eligible and marriage material. Because if you pursue your career and you're not ready to be married until you're 32, there's limited time to make babies. And that is what any man who gets married wants. His name to live on. So the pursuit of your career and the bag and independence, these things cut your years of marriage eligibility in half. Pontoon Jody's gone. Dang, Jody. Jody, you said you wanted to talk about relationships. We'll see you. 32, you making adults. mean, I'm asking serious questions. I don't think I'm being I don't think I'm being obtuse, facetious. I don't think I'm being any of these things. I'm seriously asking. I'm not saying nothing about what you bring to the table. I'm not asking any of those corny questions. I'm not asking any of those questions. I'm asking, why should a man consider marriage? And this conversation is really for men over 35. It can be for young men, but older men are making the most money they've ever made in their life. Still climbing. And you know, this isn't a conversation. I'm not trying to have a negative conversation. I want to have a constructive conversation. Hey, April Showers, how are you doing? I want to have a constructive conversation. What role does the woman play in the marriage? We know the man's role. The man's role has never changed since the beginning of time. Provide, protect, grow family. A man's role has never changed. But the woman's role has changed. The woman was a tradition. There was a traditional woman. Then we have feminism, and then which feminism created the modern woman. Now you have this legion of women 30 to 35 who've never been married, who have careers and master's degrees and money, and they don't understand that men don't care about your money, your education. I mean, that stuff is good. You want a smart partner. You want a partner that, you know, together you all are going to create a better individual than yourselves. But is it a woman's duty to find a suitable mate in high school or college? It's got to, oh, okay. Camille said, we have talked about, yeah, we have, and nothing was resolved. The last time we framed this question, I framed the question for men, and men showed up and showed out. Now I'm asking women, period, point blank, why should a man consider marriage? Camille said, we have talked about this before. Men should want to marry. Come on now. It has to be something more than that. That is not that. That's what is that what men get out of this deal? A life partner and companionship. Does that sound like a good deal, men? All the risk that you're going to, all the risk for a life companion and partnership. I think that's why men are rejecting that contract. There has to be, that's not tangible. A life partner and companionship. I don't think that's a proper trade-off. I think people meet life partners in high school and college. I don't think you can be 35 and above and you can meet a companion. I don't know about a life partner. I don't know. Shouts out to everybody watching on Facebook. Shouts out to everybody watching on Instagram. Shouts out to everybody watching on Twitch. And most definitely shouts out to the MA family. Everybody watching right here on YouTube. But I'm asking the ladies. This is a pointed question for the ladies. Why should a man consider marriage? Why should a man consider marriage? Men lose financially, legally, and socially. Women lose, it's an inconvenience. Divorce rewards dissatisfaction, not endurance. Divorce rewards dissatisfaction, not endurance. And marriage is something that's supposed to be enduring. Loyalty is optional. Expectations are not. I'm gonna say it again. Loyalty is optional. Expectations are not. That's why a lot of men believe women look for good situations. Women don't look for relationships. Women look for good situations. Situations ain't good, ain't no relationship. Women don't look for friendship. It's friendship, relationship, then marriage. Women is situationship, skip friendship, relationship, exit strategy. Yeah. Janet Jackson was married to that man in Saudi Arabia. She chose to be married to him, and it was stipulated in their marriage, in their divorce, in their prenup agreement or whatever. If she stayed 5 years, she gets this. If she stays 10 years, she gets this. If she stays 20 years, she gets this. And Janet Jackson divorced that man one day after 10 years. She filed for divorce. Like I said, situationship. Women look for a situation, skip friendship, go to relationship, exit strategy. Situation. He's a good football player. Relationship. Have a baby. Exit strategy. Child support. There's no loyalty in that. Yeah. No man is setting himself up to be an exit strategy. Huh. Men are not going for it. Men are not going for it. put this question out here. No lady has said anything. No lady has said why a man should consider marriage. It's open forum for the ladies. No one has said anything. Yeah, ladies. You say what you want. You want a marriage. You want a man. You want a good man. You want a man to marry. I'm asking y'all, why should a man consider marriage? And only thing we've received is men should want to marry for a life partner and companionship. And I don't think men in a risk assessment, I don't think that the risk that the man life, financial standing, I don't think all of that is worth. It's not a good trade-off. We 35 minutes into the show. Hit the like button. Ladies, I know y'all mad, man, but I'm asking y'all point blank. Tell me. Why should a man consider? I don't, man. Juggernaut says social media pushes the narrative of bad women and how they act towards men in society. I don't think social media pushes it. I just think that's how it is. I just think that's how it is, Juggernaut. I just think that that's the state of the dating pool. I just think that's the state of it. And like I say, not all women are bad women. This is not a blanket statement. But we're talking about the loudest women. The loudest women, the complainers. The modern women who want a traditional man. Traditional men do not come home and cook and clean. They don't. Y'all won't Leave It to Beaver. He was coming home. He was kicking his shoes off. He was, yeah. Where's dinner? Yeah, he wasn't coming home and putting an apron on and washing dishes. And that's not what a traditional man was doing, ladies. That's not what y'all want a traditional man, but y'all want to put parameters on what he's gonna do. And traditional men were working, coming home, providing and protecting. They weren't coming home. They would barbecue occasionally on the weekend or whatever. No, they weren't coming home. They weren't cooking dinner. They weren't washing dishes. They weren't running the vacuum. No, but there's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But that's not what a traditional man did, ladies. That's not what a traditional man did. I think women want what they want. And then they'll name it a traditional man to stick. That's not. Leave It to Beaver. He wasn't, he wasn't coming home and he's cut the grass. If you want a traditional man, all the way traditional. I don't want a modern man. What role do ladies want the man to play? What role do y'all want us to play, ladies? You want a traditional man, but he got to cook and clean and help with the chores, and that ain't traditional man. Y'all don't want modern men. They don't. Yeah, ladies, I think men know exactly what they want in terms of a marriageable woman. Men kind of know what they want. I think women don't know what they want. I think it changes every day. What a woman wants, it changes every day, depending on how the wind blows. Men know what they want. A man knows what it takes to get him to. A man knows what it takes for him to buy a ring. And yeah, I think, and with that being said, a lot of men aren't seeing wife material. So no matter what women say, no matter what kind of baddie you are, none of that stuff. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Man don't care about your independence. How much money you got? No. Because if a man is taking care of his own, and just because you got a career and you go to work, that doesn't change the role that you have as a woman in a marriage. It doesn't change. Just because you have a career and that doesn't change your role. Just because you have a career and you're educated and you work 9 to 5, that doesn't change your role. You took that on. That doesn't change your role in the household. I mean, it doesn't. Does it? I don't think that it does. But a lot of women think that because they go to work and work a 9 to 5 and that changes their role in the household. No, it doesn't. You still got the same role that you have as a woman. Education and career, that don't change your role. Just adds to it. Doesn't change it. Doesn't change it. But, women want to change their role and what they'll do and what they're not going to do. And the man's role never changes. The man's role never changes. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. What's good, fellas? Hey, ladies, come on. I'm asking y'all questions. Open-ended questions where you can talk. And no woman has said nothing. Women got upset. I don't think this is not a conversation to get upset about. I'm asking questions. I'm asking the question that men ask every day, man. What the heck? Why should I get married to this chick? Why should I wife this chick? Why should I get in a committed relationship with this chick? These are questions that men ask themselves and their friends and talk amongst each other every day. Every day. Nobody wants to be alone. Nobody wants to be alone. So let's preface this conversation with that. Nobody wants to be alone. But I'm not gonna do something to the detriment of myself. I'm not gonna do that. a lot of men only see the bad in marriage. And I think that, I know that has a lot to do with how, like Jugga and I said, women are portrayed in the media. The women that we see in the media are taking dudes to court, taking money. Don't even have the last name. And we see examples of women who stood by. We see examples of true love. We see this. Everybody, I mean, yeah, you see Denzel and his wife, they've been together forever. You don't hear, yeah. We see these examples. We have them in our families. There are examples of good, we have them amongst our friends. There are examples of good relationships. And that is what men strive to have, but yeah, it's hard. It's slim, it's slim pickings. It's slim pickings. Men are going to other countries. Men are creating access to different groups of women. Juggernaut said, today's society does not allow room for marriage to be beneficial for both parties. That's right. There's only one person who benefits from marriage currently, and that's women. That's women. Now you're going to have outliers. That's what, yeah, it's too many, yeah. Too many boss bitches, CEO hoe mentality. Women want to get paid for their time. They want you to get their nails and toes and hair done to take them out. We're not even in a relationship, and you want me to spend money on you. Just think about that. We live in a trick influenced diaspora. Because make no mistakes about it, only a trick is going to give a chick some money to go get her nails, feet, and hair done and not even be in a relationship with her. Just get that done to just, yeah, that's a trick. And there's no other way around it, ladies. That ain't no, he bossed up and no, that is not bossing up. Giving you money. I mean, if I gotta give you money to look good for me, then what? That don't even make sense. You should want to look good for me if I'm gonna take you out. Not me give you the money to go look good. That don't. I gotta pay you to go get your nails, feet, and hair done to look good for me. And then I'm gonna go out on the date and then pay for the date. Hell no. Hell no. No. It's not happening. It's not happening. The woman wants to be the feminine one and the masculine one. And then if a man speaks up, he's sassy. You can't make. If you talk back and you question, you sassy. No, I'm asking questions. There's nothing sassy about ask. And this is why if a man whenever a man tries to assert his masculinity, a woman puts a feminine term on that. Oh, he's being sassy. You can't make this stuff up. A man tries to assert his masculinity and a woman says that's sassy. You can't make this stuff up. Oh, he's sassy. Every time I see he got something to say, he's sassy. No, he ain't sassy. He's just not letting you be the masculine one. You saying that the man is sassy is masculine. That ain't feminine. Oh, so sassy ass Negro. You can't make this stuff up. A masculine woman calling a man sassy because he's asserting his masculinity. He's sassy. Men are expected to be faithful regardless of happiness. Women are encouraged to find themselves. Girl, cut that fool and go find yourself. There's an accountability imbalance. Men must always be accountable. Women are never accountable. There's an accountability imbalance. Yeah, sassy and brokey to try to emasculate. Yeah, sassy, brokey. You can't make this stuff up. But ladies, you have to pick a role. You have to have a role. There are defined roles. Now, if you're a masculine woman and you can find a feminine man, then that will probably mesh. But it ain't gonna. Yeah. A bull got nuts. Yeah. A bull has nuts. The woman can't be a bull, and there's not gonna be two bulls in the house. I'm just honest. There can only be one masculine person in the household. Can't be too masculine. It won't work. And that's what men mean by we want a feminine woman. Yeah. Independence broke the partnership model. That's why a lot of men don't even want to hear independence. Independence broke the partnership model. I don't need a man became an identity during these times. Women claiming their independence. And women don't want to submit. But marriage requires dependency. You can't be independent in a marriage. Even in a relationship. There's no, if you're in a true relationship, there's a dependency on each other. There is no independence. That's why men don't care about your independence. We don't. Because if we're in a relationship, there's dependencies on each other. That's why your independence doesn't mean anything. In the scheme of a relationship. In a relationship is two people that are dependent on each other for happiness. Support, whether it be financial, mentally, or physically. Support. And men say this. Men are looking for a woman that is going to ease their burden, not add to it. Ladies, we tell y'all what we want, but you all try to tell us what we want. You cannot build unity on individualism. And independence is individualistic. When you get into a relationship, a committed relationship, whether it's marriage or the road to marriage, you give up your independence. In a relationship, there is no independence in a relationship. There cannot, for a relationship to be healthy, there can be no independence because we depend on each other. So I just think that somewhere along the line, relationships stop being about love and respect and loyalty. Relationships stop being about those three things. Respect is treated as a bonus, not a requirement. Men are expected to provide stability without authority. I was having a conversation with one of my friends about that the other day. He moved in with his girl. And he was complaining that he has no authority in his house because he lives with his girl. He said it's kind of hard to be in a relationship where you have no authority as a man. That is a crazy situation, to be in a household and have no authority over what goes on in the household. That is what independence in a relationship will do. There's always dependencies on each other in a true relationship. Criticism always replaces cooperation when there is no respect. Criticism replaces cooperation. It's not, let's try to do this. It's like, why you do this instead of, yeah. Action verbs change. Put a poll up tonight. And the poll I put up was, has modern culture made women less marriage ready? 80% of the people said yes. 20% said no. Modern culture has made women less marriage ready. Once upon a time, women were raised to be wives. Somewhere along the timeline that changed, and women were raised to be independent. I don't know where that change happened, but I think it happened somewhere after feminism. But American feminism broke the black family apart. Because those ladies that were telling you black women to leave your husbands and leave that stuff behind and become independent and go out and do for self, and those ladies were going home to their husbands after they were telling y'all to leave y'all's men. Yeah. A lot of those feminists were going home to their husbands after they told y'all to leave y'all's men and become independent. Go out and get educated and get a career. And they told y'all all that, and then they went home to their husbands. And y'all fell for it. And this, how relationships are in 2026, is the result of that. This is what independence got women. This is what independence got y'all. Perfect. Yeah, for real. Nobody wants to be alone, but nobody is going to get into a relationship to the detriment of themselves. I preface all these conversations by saying nobody wants to be alone, but I would rather be alone than have troubles. I would rather be alone than have stresses. I would rather be alone than have a disloyal woman. We have these conversations to try to get a consensus on what needs to be done next to change the plight that is in front of us. Why should a man consider marriage? Has to be more than life partner and companionship. It has to be, it has to be more, has to be more. So yeah, women, In the pursuit of a happy relationship, you're going to have to give up some of that independence, because there's no independence in a relationship. Dependency breeds loyalty. Independence in a relationship breeds friction. There can be no independence when you have two people that are codependent on each other. We have these conversations so that people's plight can change. And we can stop bickering between women and men. We know that good relationships can happen. There's plenty of examples of them. Your friends, your family. There's plenty of examples of them. YWG said, they better get it together. Dirty diaper Donnie is taking away a lot of stuff you need to get under a man's security. He's taking away a lot of that stuff, ladies. A lot of those concessions that women were afforded. Boy Donald is taking a lot of that stuff away. And whether you like him or not, there is no independence in relationships. And that's why men tell you all that your independence doesn't matter to us. But men will go where they're loved, whether it's here or abroad. Because as men get older, our chances of finding someone increase. Now that goes up to a certain point. But yeah. Men's and women don't like to hear this, but men's chances of finding companionship increase as they get older, while women's chances decrease as they get older. Now you can argue, or we can argue about it, whatever the case, but men's value continues to go up as he continues to learn. And women's value, and this is and when I say this is not a demeaning thing, but as women get older, your value as marriage material goes down, no matter how you want to look at it, no matter if you like that statement or not. But yeah, as women get older, your life chances to find a marriage partner go down. YWG said he's met so many jobless women in the last few months. There's lots of women that are jobless. Lots. That unemployment is about to run out. 16 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever. It's about to run out. YWG said, no, say it. They get older and men start looking elsewhere. These conversations aren't meant to belittle anybody. This is real life. And life ain't always shits and giggles. It ain't. You don't get participation awards for trying to get in them. Yeah, ain't no participation awards for trying to find a woman. Yeah, it's just life experiences. And these life experiences that men carried with them from teenage years through adulthood have molded us into the men that we are. And like I say, man not be able to tell you what he exactly wants in a woman, but he can tell you exactly what he doesn't want. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. Men, women, we are made.
Love Addicts Music Group.
I always preface it when we have these conversations because these are tough conversations that we have. Sometimes people get mad, but sometimes the truth hurts. But we have to have these conversations in order to push forward and to get through this malaise of the 6-week relationship. We got to move beyond that in 2026. You can't do what you was doing in 2025 and expect to be successful in 2026. You got to do different things, different outlooks, different ways of achieving your outcome. Look within yourself. Maybe you can change, maybe you can't. I hope I said something that will make you look in the mirror. Boy, Maas, and this has been Why Should a Man Consider Marriage?
Lab Addicts Music Group.
Why should he? I know this topic will come back up again, but I will see you out Thursday where, I got another good topic.
Lab
See you out
Addicts
Thursday.
Music Group.
It's your boy, I'm out.